I also want to bring in Jim Messina. Jim, correct me if my memory is not serving me well right now, but I think you were Deputy Chief of Staff in the Obama White House at the time of the nomination of Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan. You have an understanding of how this process works. What's happening right now in the White House, and who are the key people involved?
Well, Ron Klain is going to be the absolute key. The president's chief of staff will help run the process for Barack Obama for both the picks when I was in the White House. He's someone who cares very deeply about this. Biden was very much involved. He's the former chair of the Judiciary Committee. This is not something that they haven't been thinking about for a long time. They will have already had a short list prepared of people they could at least start thinking about. I think, Chris, you're exactly right that they're going to look for an African-American woman first. This is something where Klain is going to be very, very involved in this process, and it'll be something they want to move very quickly. You know, typically this is how this works internally. They have a lot of lawyers sit in a room and talk about who could be the best justice, as they should, and then eventually they walk down the hall to the political folks and say, okay, and how do we get Manchin and Sinema? And how do we get to 50 votes on this person? And so both of those processes will be run internally. And in this much of a divided court and a divided country, you know, the politics will matter more than in past picks. One other thing, this is going to be a lightning rod on the abortion issue. As you know, the Supreme Court's likely to rule on Roe v. Wade by June. This pick is going to get absolutely pulled into all those politics, which could change the midterm elections. So there are just more political things to think about than in most Supreme Court picks.
I also wonder, and this was touched on when Andrea was talking in our last half hour, at the beginning of the half hour, but do you see a world in which, given the political environment we're in right now, Jim, that there's a Republican, depending obviously on who the nominee is, there's a Republican who could back a Joe Biden nominee?
You know, it's happened in the past. I mean, you would hope that Susan Collins and people like that would at least be open-minded. I think you and I are a little understanding of the politics right now. But if there's someone that, you know, the Biden picks that has gotten votes in the past, they're going to look at that and say, has this person been confirmed for a district or appeals court? Did they get Republican votes? You know, that's kind of the person they're going to look at. They can't lose any Democrats, but certainly they would like to have someone who can get a couple of votes with the Republicans. That said, we understand that it's an election year and it's going to be hard for Republicans to vote for this. So they're going to care more about the moderates in their own party than they are the moderates in the other party, if there's still any left.